All right, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're warm and doing good. Open it up for questions.
What are you seeing on tape with Justin Fields?
Uh, really athletic quarterback. Um, can make a lot of plays with his legs. He has a strong arm. Can throw the ball deep down the field. Get the ball out of his hands fast. He's going to be a good player.
Relying on his athleticism at all just at this stage?
No, that's really kind of been the interesting thing. I expected to see him run a lot more than he has to this point. Expected to see a lot more design quarterback run plays than than they're running right now so far. So, he's pretty much played like a pocket passer. So he's. So I was really kind of surprised when I turned on the tape. I thought I'd see more design quarterback runs.
Yeah, so you kind of go into this expecting just it's going to be a scrambling situation with him
Well,
mostly then.
part of that now they do have some. They just haven't done it a lot during the course of the game. So, the majority of his rushing yards have come off of scrambling, and he's made big plays with his legs. Running with the ball in his hands.
Are there things you can do pre-snap that might work a little better against a rookie quarterback than a veteran?
Um, yeah, that's part of who we are. I mean, we did it against Roethlisberger's. We did it against Rodgers. I don't think it'd be any difference versus him. As part of what we do, as a defense is try to disguise things and make the quarterback have to figure it out as he's dropping back to pass instead of him figuring it out at the line of scrimmage. So that's just a part of who we are as a defense.
How much have you been working on 2-minute defensive situations, making sure, trying to keep the opponents in bounds? I mean, guys have been getting out of bounds the last couple of
You know,
games.
we work on it. We work on it twice a week, every week. Um, we worked on it when we came in on what day was that? They were kind of running together. I think it was Tuesday. We had another big 2-minute drill on Tuesday. A huge film session over all of the 2-minute situations that we've had so far this season on Tuesday. So when it comes down to execution, and we got to find a way to execute in those situations.
You feel like you guys took a step forward though against Pittsburgh, just the way that those each half ended with 2 minutes.
Yeah, I thought, for the first 3.5 quarters, it was the best defense we've played so far this season. I'd go all the way back to last year, too. But I told the guys at halftime, we're playing a Hall of Fame quarterback and a real proud organization. The tide was going to change, and we had to be ready for that to happen. The odds of us doing to that quarterback what we had done to him for a whole half are not very good. So we had to be ready to stand up and fight because eventually, the tide was going to change. And, one bad penalty and 2 turnovers help those things happen. And, once you get a quarterback like Big Ben gets hot, that's what ends up happening in this league. So, I really wasn't surprised that it shouldn't have came down to the last play of the game, but I really wasn't surprised that they were able to put some points up on the board because of who we were playing against.
Andre, did you sense when that penalty was made that was kind of this could snowball on you guys?
Oh, it was a huge play in the game. I mean, it went from a 15-yard penalty flipping them over on our side of the field to where it would have been, 3rd and 25 or something like that. So that's a huge penalty, and you don't want to give a quarterback like him a second opportunity that close to the scoring zone. So that was a huge penalty in the game. And once they score, then you get momentum. It's like a great 3-point shooter. He may go 0 for 10 in the first half, but once he sees one go in the basket, it turns around, and and that's what ends up happening.
They do offensively to protect him a little better. I think the first 32 minutes you guys had 5 sacks or something like that, and then he seemed to have time after that.
Yeah, well, they started going more to 6 and 7-man protections and running 2 and 3-man routes, to make sure he was protected. So even if we weren't blitzing, if we were just going with a 4-man rush, they had the ability to get 4 hands on all 4 of our guys that were rushing. So they went to more of a max protection base to help them out.
Going back to Boyd's penalty, when there's a penalty like that, I mean, who talks to him? You, Coach Zimmer, everybody at once, different, or how does it work when you tell him?
Well, he got it from a lot of different people. You know, he got it from guys on the field. He got it from Zim when he first hit the sideline. He got it from me once I saw him on the sideline. So, you know, it was addressed immediately, you know, so in very stern fashion. So, you know, I wish he wouldn't have done that, and hopefully he feels that way now too. But it happened, and you got to deal with it.
You talk about the disguises. In terms of Harrison Smith's role and all that, how rare is it for a safety to be able to hold it as long as he does and still get to the spot where he needs to be?
Very, because you got to have a lot of confidence. You know, a lot of times, you know, you're the last line of defense, and nobody's supposed to get behind you. So for you to feel comfortable to actually line up on the line of scrimmage, and when the ball snapped, to turn and run and get the depth back that you're supposed to have at the same time as fast receivers are running full speed towards you, is very rare. So what he can do, not a lot of guys can do that.
How often is that him making the choice to do that, or how much of that is just you guys have coached him long enough to know that he has the latitude, or you can put him in that spot and know he'll get?
Yeah, that's the design of the defense. You know, it's the design of the defense, and because of who he is, he may be able to get a little deeper down than if somebody else was in there. You know, we're still disguising it. When he didn't play, we were still disguising it. They may not be able to get all the way down to the line of scrimmage like he can, but it's still in the design of our defense.
Andre, in terms of Dalvin Tomlinson this year, what has it been like having him in your room, and what kind of a perspective has he brought just to that group?
He's great. You know, he's a pro's pro. He's a hard worker. He's very smart and conscientious. It's important to him to execute his technique. It's important to him to play well. No, he's a great team member. So he's been a great addition to my room. I mean, he brings a lot of qualities that are not just the kind of football player he is, but a lot of qualities that you like to have your players have.
Any other questions for Coach? Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks.